4 years ago, I decided that I want to live a life of ease and I didn't want what was going on in my life to dictate how I was showing up in the world or what I felt. Hello, Ego Diana here. Welcome back to EGO Initiative, where we prioritize our wellness so that we can manage any crises and maintain our peace. Today is obviously a Wellness Wednesday chat, given the title of the video. So happy Wellness Wednesday, y'all. I know that we are experiencing a lot of stressors right now. It's a really tough time. Black folks, some of us are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I get that. That was me 4 years ago. I was definitely one of those, like, why is this always happening to us? I was making those posts on social media. I was doing the work as well behind the scenes. I'm not a person who goes out to protest. That has just never been my thing. What I am trying to say is that situations like these happen to Black people, darker skin tone people, Latino people, Indigenous people, all the time. History continues to repeat itself, and a lot of folks are just at the point where it's like, why is this happening? And they have a lot of questions. And I'm blessed to be able to say that I'm starting to understand why these things are happening to us. I'm fully rooted in my foundation, who I am and whose I am and how I show up in the world. And so I'm responding to all of this a little bit differently now. A lot of folks are still tagging me in posts and sending me things and doing these chain things. I'm not responding. You will hear a little bit why in this video. I'm going to be sharing with you 4 tips to help you manage crises and maintain your peace, because we are in a time of crises right now. 2020 has just felt like crises upon crises upon crises, and a lot of people they're just done, and I know that a lot of people are extremely feeling all of the emotions right now. And so I want to share 4 tips to help you in these times, and so that you are able to maintain your peace throughout. The first step is to decide how you want to feel. I know that sounds a little bit off. Like, how do you decide? A lot of us do not realize that we have a lot more control over our emotions. Emotional wellness is really, really important for us to practice so that we are able to move, because your emotions are actually a kind of like a compass for you. If you are feeling angry, you can sit back and analyze, why do I feel angry? What's the next step to do about this? If you are able to be emotionally intelligent in those moments. And that's what helps you get into the habit of deciding what you want to feel. If you feel like you really don't have that capacity to do that, tap into someone who is more experienced than you, who has success in being emotionally well and emotionally intelligent, or someone who is where you want to be. You can reach out to them for advice or support on how to manage your emotions. But the first tip is to decide how you want to feel. 4 years ago, I decided that I want to live a life of ease, and I didn't want what was going on in my life to dictate how I was showing up in the world or what I felt. I wanted to be a lot more disciplined and in control of my emotions. Next tip is to focus on the things that cultivate those feelings. I'm not saying that you should be oblivious or ignorant to what's going on right now, but is it really feeding you to watch all of the videos if you already have an understanding of it? Like, this has been happening to us for years now, and this is not to dismiss the folks who have lost their lives, but it is to say, what's important to you? What are you focusing on? The reason why I had stopped being that person who was posting hashtags on Facebook or Instagram, or doing all those things that really vocal about how I felt, and Black Lives Matter. And again, it's not to say that I don't think Black Lives Matter anymore. Of course, look at the melanin on me. But it is to say that what you focus on magnifies. So I'm not focusing on that, all the stuff that's happening. I'm focusing on that, now what? How am I going to move forward? Why is this happening? And how can I be part of the people who's making changes towards that? And for a lot of people, it's like going to protests and stuff. Again, that is not my jam. So I'm focusing on the things that bring me a lot more ease. And that looks like being really intentional about how I show up in the world, tapping into who I say I am, which a huge part of it is saying that I'm a woman of God. And what does that mean? It means that I am heavy in the scriptures. I'm reading the word of God and reading his promises and understanding a lot more what is going on. And that is what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on the gift that God gave me, the gift to be impeccable with my word, the gift to be able to use words to communicate to people the importance of certain things, the gifts to speak And, you know, that is what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on the things that I actually have capacity to do and bring to this world, as opposed to all of the negative. I don't need another video to remind me that we are an oppressed people. I don't need another video to remind me that police brutality still exists and white supremacy is a thing. I don't need any of those videos. And so do what you got to do to, you know, make you feel like you are part of this, being a part of the solution, or you are showing up for your people, empowered to the people, and all that stuff. But if you're not focusing on the things that you actually want to feel and the things that you actually want to see, you're just going to keep seeing more of the things that you are focusing on, essentially. And so I'm super kingdom focused, and that's where my mind is at. Like, how do I get to the kingdom? The third tip is to pray on your feet. Now, a lot of this is going to be sounding like, if you're not a believer, then I don't know what to say to you, but I like to say that I pray on my feet, and it's something that I think I got from my coach. And that saying, it really is just making sure that when I pray, I'm not just praying and then I'm just sitting down. I'm actually active. For example, on a very small scale, I'm praying to pass a test. I'm not just gonna pray to pass a test and then not study. I'm gonna pray and then I'm gonna study, and it's more likely that I will pass the test, because I'm not just asking for something and just sitting for it to just appear at my lap, but I'm asking, and part of my believing in God and having faith in Him is that I'm moving with intention, because I know that what I ask for, I will receive if I'm actually moving with intention. That's why I say pray on your feet. So again, if you are looking to cultivate certain feelings, you don't want to feel burnt out, you don't want to feel stressed out, and you pray for peace in your life and understanding, wouldn't the next obvious step be to think, where would I get understanding? From the scriptures, and then you read more scriptures. And so if you are just praying just to pray, just to say some things, then you're just saying some things. The fourth and final tip is to be responsive and not reactive. So we are seeing a lot of things going down with protesters who are looting, and, you know, some of the people that are looting don't be looking like us. They're just showing up to shake the system or whatever have you. And that's really another reason why I'm just never been a protest type of person, because you never know who's going to be out there and how people are going to react. A lot of that seems reactionary to me when people do certain things like that, but I'm more focused on responding to something. So when you respond, you are thinking about respond in tandem with responsibility. The ability to respond to something is really, really important, because when you're reactive, you are at the whim of whatever the catalyst or the stimuli to your response is. So whatever instigated that for you to react is kind of has that power over you. But when you are responding, you are taking a little bit of your power back. You're being actually more in control in that way when you respond. So it's just like, what is going on in the world? Your response could be, why is this happening? And not necessarily what can I do to get back, but it's just like, how do I fit into this conversation? How do I fit into the pieces that is going on right now? And how do I show up with intention? You know, what do I do differently? Asking those questions, that is more of a response, so that the next time things happen, you are more prepared. When you are able to respond, it kind of creates a system for you to continue to respond in that way or adjust where necessary. So when things continue to happen, you know where to go from there. Those are my 4 tips to help you manage crises and maintain your peace during this time. As always, you know, I give you a bonus step. A bonus step is to reach out to your support system, reach out to your people. There are so many communities out there that you can find like-minded individuals or people who are where you want to be. Reach out to them, get yourself some counselors, get yourself a coach, a mentor, whatever have you. Just find someone who has had success in where you are aiming for or who you are envisioning yourself to be. Reach out to community. Support is important. I know that I talk about prioritizing your wellness, but I'm really not talking about this in isolation and for you to just only be by yourself. But it is to say that a huge part of prioritizing your wellness is not being afraid to ask for the support and the help that you do need. Other things I've been doing just in general, on the recommendation of my coach and a good friend of mine, I have downloaded the newsfeed eradicator on Facebook. I don't need to see a bunch of videos of Black Death. I downloaded that and it just sends me inspirational quotes. That's all I see on my newsfeed, but I do get my notification. Then another thing I do now that I've been implementing here and there is just deleting Instagram. I do mute and unfollow people who post things that are not serving my peace or have nothing to do with me, or I just don't agree with. However, you don't have control over that. When you go on the feed, sometimes it instantly starts playing or you see it immediately, and I can't proactively think about who's gonna post some nonsense that I don't want to see. I completely delete the app on the weekends, Friday nights to Sunday nights, and I only post on there for my business stuff, or if I want to share something that I think will be useful for other people to be aware of or to know. And those are some of the things that I've been doing in addition to the 4 tips that I shared with you to maintain my peace during this time. All right, that's a wrap for today's Wellness Wednesday chat. I hope that supported you and you were able to take some of those tips into your daily life, especially during this times. If you do need some more support around prioritizing your wellness, given the circumstances and what's going on in the times right now, I do have a 5-week prioritizing your wellness course, which you can follow at your own pace. I also do one-on-one strategy calls to help you create self-care systems for yourself and your household and folks that you are in community with. So you can find details of all of those things below in the description box. It'll be detailed out along with other resources that I do provide or resources that I utilize as well. And if you just want to be a part of the tribe, all you got to do is subscribe, pull up a seat, grab a sip of your water, say your piece in the comments below, and I'll talk to y'all real soon. Peace and love.